Well, conservative and evangelical heads are exploding because Candace Owens got fired for the Daily Wire. Their favorite, conservatives and evangelicals, they love Daily Wire. They love Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk. These are like their people. And it's funny watching their heads explode when Candace Owens got fired for, yeah, she was going after the ADL. Yeah, she was criticizing Israel for doing the genocide in Gaza. Yeah, she was criticizing Rabbi Solomon Friedman because he owns Pornhub, and Rabbi Shmuley because he sells dildos and lube with his daughter. But the line, what really got her fired was the whole Christ is King thing, and basically not backing down from Christianity and telling a member of the ADL on her show that his Judaism doesn't trump her Christianity. Um, and heads are exploding because all these people that are obsessed with Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh, all these people, they don't they don't understand the why she got fired, or they're coping. They're saying it's because of Trump or contract problems. No, the real reason is because of the Crisis King stuff and the criticizing the ADL in Israel. And that's a line you're just not allowed to cross. And it's funny for one reason, because the right wing, quote unquote right wing, are the champions of facts don't care about your feelings, free speech, open dialogue, all these things, except when it comes to they have their own things that you're not allowed to talk about, that you're not allowed to criticize. And let me just give you some behind the scenes of how this grift works, because all you goys and Shabbos goys, you don't get it. So let me explain to the retarded evangelicals and conservatives how this grift works. Um, every major conservative evangelical Christian institution, Fox News, PragerU, Rebel Media, Daily Wire, all these, you know, the all these people, they're run by Orthodox, rabbinical, Talmudic Jews, and these people, and what the evangelicals and the Christians and all you goys don't understand is Talmudists hate Christians, and they hate Jesus Christ, and it's part of their in the Talmud where they are still trying to um, facilitate their Messiah, and they believe that they can't bring about this figure until they either completely destroy Christianity worldwide or control it completely. And they believe, in the Talmud, Jesus is son of a prostitute who went to Egypt and learned dark magic, and he was tricking people and mocking the Talmud and mocking the law and the oral tradition, and so he got executed. And his punishment, he's in hell boiling in shit, and him and all of his followers are an abomination. That's what they believe. And the funny thing is these stupid evangelicals and conservatives and all these Republican type people, they don't understand this grift. Like, they don't understand all they think it's all, oh, we're on the same side. All these Talmudic Jews are on the same side as the evangelical Christians, and we basically believe the same thing. They're the holy people, and we have Jesus. And not only is that not true, the funny thing is they believe that so wholeheartedly that you can't even, like, it's hilarious when, like, Ben Shapiro and all these people, they go on podcasts. Jesus Christ, he was executed for trying to overthrow the Romans. He was, a magical guy, and he was doing bad stuff. And yeah, they can tell them to their face like this: fire somebody for saying Christ is king, and they will still not let go of their belief. That's how deep the grift is. Which, it comes from, they think this is all, they're hooked into this whole, evangelicals primarily, a lot of conservatives, but most in the like, entirety of evangelicals are into this whole, they fetishize Judaism and Jews. It's like Jews are magical little elves that can do no wrong because they're God's chosen special people, and it's a Christian's duty to give them money and support them no matter what they do, and they can't be wrong because they're God's people, and they're so hooked into this belief, which by the way is only, this dispensationalism, what it's called, was invented in the 1920s by Talmudic Jews in a way to control the evangelical movement in the United States, of which it was entirely successful. But and they don't like they you and the how most hilarious thing is they can say it right in their face, and they just don't get it. They still don't get it. Like these goy, you just still you can tell them to their face, I hate you, and I'm going to control you and mock you and humiliate you, you know, in public, humiliate your God, humiliate your religion, humiliate your children. And they're like, oh, wow, would you like some more money? Where do I sign up? Can I listen to your podcast? Can I fund your movement? Do you want to send my son to Afghanistan? It's just hilarious how they can't see through it. And even though in their own, these people who are Christians, right? Even in their own teaching, no matter how much it's written all over their New Testament about how there's no special people, there's no special ethnicity, Jesus directly had conversations about this with Jewish leaders. I think it's what, John 8, Matthew 21. And how there's no chosen people, there's no special. Anybody who accepts Jesus is a person of God, and the people who don't are not. That's what it is in Christianity. But they're like, yeah, but the Jews are still the special people of God. And these hilarious Talmudic Jews have been so hilariously successful at ingraining this in evangelical heads that they can just openly, like, even there's so much cope around this crisis king stuff where you'll get people who, you got this guy who says he's a Catholic, Andrew Clavin, this guy at the Daily Wire, who's like, Christians, we might believe that Christ is king, but if you say it out loud or in the vicinity of a Jew, it's anti-Semitic. And, they don't need Jesus or God because they're already chosen. So actually, if you think that or believe that, it's kind of anti-Semitic. Just the a level of cope, because you can't, one, this belief has been so ingrained in their psyche, even though it's not in their belief system at all, but they just have adopted it. It's some dogma that's added in that they just can't get rid of. And two, they have to go along with it because all of their institutions, their church groups, things like Daily Wire, PragerU, Rebel Media, like all these news outlets, all these organizations are run by Talmudic Jews who hate Christians and Jesus Christ, and they always have to bend the knee. Like, here's how it happens. Anytime some conservative Republican evangelical gets any type of traction, you get a little phone call that says, hey, we notice you've been getting some notoriety. Would you like to take a trip to the Holy Land? And then they go take that trip to Israel and put on the yarmulke and saw, cry and French kiss the Wailing Wall, and go to Poland, do a tour of Auschwitz and stare at the floor and watch clips of Schindler's List. You know, it's a hilarious grift, and just getting them to humiliate themselves in public and bend the knee, and they get shown what lines they don't cross. And that's just how it works, and it's hilarious. So that's how these things work. So that's what the grift is. And so when you see these people's heads exploding, is because they're so, like, these people have been invested in, we're on the same side and Jews are just magical, special, chosen people of God. They've been believing this for so long, and they're so ingrained in this belief, like, and they can't just let it go, even in the face of things being like, Christ is king, saying, professing belief in your God is anti-Semitism, and they're still trying to justify it. Well, Ben Shapiro, he's still our guy. He owns the libs. um, It's just hilarious, and that's how it works. You know, there's just lines you can't cross before you start getting canceled from PayPal, and that's just how it works. So Candace Owens, she's got a couple options. This is the only ways it can go. There's three ways it can go. One is she does the online Trail of Tears. You know, she'll have to tweet something like, just got off the phone with Ben Shapiro. Turns out it was all a misunderstanding. I've seen the light. You know, turns out I was wrong. He was right. You know, publicly go, you know, do a podcast tour where she fillets Ben Shapiro and metaphorically flogs herself and humiliates herself. You know, does some humiliation ritual about how, you know, how wrong she was, and how bad her belief was. Oh, she could do that. She can do the go the Elon Musk route, which is, side note, hilarious. Even the richest man in the world starts criticizing the ADL. Hey, the ADL's a hate group. And what happens? It's like, you know, in Lord of the Rings, when they're in Moria, you know, and the thing falls, the corpse falls down the well, and they start hearing the drums, dum 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 dum. That's like that's what you hear in the tunnels of Brooklyn when you start criticizing the ADL, and then all of a sudden Shabbat just starts popping out of the sewers everywhere and dragging you to Israel. That's that's what happened to Elon Musk. He's out there like, hey, you know, maybe the the ADL is a hate group. Dum 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 dum. Shabbat starts popping out of the tunnels. Hey, Elon, it's time. It's time to go to Auschwitz. You know, and they take him. Even the richest man in the world, they take him to Auschwitz. He's got to put on the yarmulke and stare at the floor and wander around and watch clips of Schindler's List and visit the gas chamber that was built in 1972. And oh, piles of shoes. Oh, baskets of gold rings. Oh, you know, he's got to go do the Trail of Tears, apologize to save advertising on his platform. Oh, Mr. Musk, you don't want to threaten your advertisers, do you? So, so the first option is the online humiliation. The second one is she's got to do the trip to Israel. She's got to put on the yarmulke, get on her knees, and French kiss the Wailing Wall in apology. Or the third option, which is she doesn't back down and you know, gets canceled off everything, canceled for PayPal, Airbnb, all the things, ends up on, you know, exclusively in Telegram groups or on Rumble, and then you know, and then if that, and then she'll get, then all of a sudden there'll be some allegation of her diddling somebody in college, and she'll get some court, she'll get the Andrew Tate treatment, you know, or anybody, you know, they get the allegations is the next step, and then it'll just grind her down slowly from there. So those are really her only three options. She can do the online, had a conversation with Shapiro humiliation apology. She can get on her knees and fillet the Wailing Wall in Israel / to her Auschwitz apology, or she can keep going and find out, fuck around and find out what happens if you keep going. Uh, but it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious to me seeing this grift and how these stupid evangelicals don't get it. Like they've adopted this dogma so hardcore that just, you know, the country of Israel is the God's chosen, and you know, Israelis, you know, they're, no matter how much they believe in the Talmud, they're the special, you know, they're the special people, and Jesus wants us to give them money so they can genocide Christian Palestinians. It's what our Christian God wants, you know, all this hilarious, all this hilarious dumb shit. And you know, it's an unbelievably hilarious grift. And these are the same stupid evangelicals, especially the boomers. Like every generation after the boomers, evangelicals are a little less into this shit, but especially the boomers. These are the people that spend, you know, they'll spend like, oh, they'll overpay like 15, $20,000 to do some Israel trip where they tour around all the holy sites. You know, oh, you know, even though Jerusalem was completely destroyed and Hadrian rebuilt it in 129 next to where Jerusalem was, oh, this is the holy city. And oh, this Wailing Wall that was built by Solomon the First during the Crusades. Oh, it's the original temple wall of Solomon. Oh, and, you know, just overcharging them in some, you know, some hilarious Jew, bottles tap water and puts a Star of David on it and sells it to them for $100 each, saying it's water from the Jordan River to take home. Oh, here's we cut up an old raggedy tablecloth into strips and tell them these are special. Oh, these are special Jewish prayer shawls, and they're $100 each. And then buy ram's horns off Alibaba. Oh, these are shofars from the temple that are $1,000 each. And they love this shit, and it's on their centerpieces in all their homes. Is just this hilarious grift shit. I swear to God, if my business fails, that's going to be my grift. I'm going to go around from evangelical church to evangelical church all over the United States, just selling like yarmulkes with crosses on them. Like Alibaba ram's horns, gonna say it's shofars. I'm gonna get a bunch of like old raggedy bed sheets from Goodwill, cut them up into strips, and tell them it's prayer shawls. And just go around and make millions just grifting off of these absolutely retarded evangelicals. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna open a Holocaust museum and just get them anytime an evangelical or a conservative thinks about crossing the line or criticizes Israel at all. And I'm just going to make them do a tour and watch clips of Schindler's List. And I'm going to get like I'm going to get a piece of drywall, some old raggedy drywall, and tell them it's a piece of the Wailing Wall and make them get on their knees and put on the yarmulke and French kiss it and cry. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the grift. Yeah, I'm gonna open up a traveling Holocaust museum, town to town, selling, showing clips of Schindler's List, making them get on their knees and French kiss a piece of drywall while they pay me $1,000 for some for some prayer shawl. Oh yeah, that's my backup plan business. Oh yeah, but I mean, that's the grift. That's how it works. So anytime you see this shit, and it's hilarious that and I'm explaining this because no matter what, like you still fall for it. You can't not fall for it. Like you're so hook, line, and sinker into this belief that literally I can even now explain to you how the grift works, and you're still not going to change. You're still going to be like, oh, that's a weird perspective, but you're still the chosen people. Here, would you like my money? And I'm going to take your money and I'm going to loan it back to you with interest. Oh, yeah. That's how it works. That's how this grift works. So that's why, and it's not going to end with Candace Owens. It's an election year. There's going to be somebody else is going to start quote, quote, noticing, and then they're going to get the treatment, and then they're going to do the Trail of Tears in Israel, or, oh, I take it back. It was all a mistake. I got off the phone. I had a phone call with Ben Shapiro, Rabbi Shmuley. I did a podcast with Solomon Friedman, and he showed me the error of my ways. Please forgive me and give me a little bit of your money, please. Oh, I want more debt. I want more loans. Please forgive me, Israel. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's how the grift works, and that's what's here. And the funny thing is, even though it's blatantly right in your face that all of your quote quote Christian evangelical conservative movements are all run by Talmudic Jews who hate you and your religion, you're still going to go along with it because you just can't help yourself. And they love the grift. It's like they love almost more than they like Christianity. It seems like they love LARPing as Jews. Like their favorite part about Christianity is like waving around an Israeli flag or wearing some fake yarmulke or having some like olive oil, some shit quality olive oil that they got from Israel that's got a Star of David in it, says it's anointing oil or some stupid. It's just like, yeah, it's just some seed oil for cooking that's in a little jar with a Star of David on it. And they're like, oh, this is anointing oil that I got at the Jordan River near Jerusalem. And oh, it was such a glorious trip. And it was only $300 for this little. Oh, yeah. It's just such a fucking funny grift. And what makes it even funnier is not just the grift in itself, it's that you can be like Ben Shapiro and all these people, they're in your face. They're not hiding. Like, we can be as open as we want, and the goy still just go along with it. You're just like, yeah, sure, sounds good. Hey, we think your God is in hell, boiling in shit. We hate you. We want to control your institutions and make fun of you and humiliate your kids and get you enslaved into debt and loans and get you hooked into all this materialism. And you're like, oh, sounds good. Sign me up. Where do I sign? And yeah, that's the grift. So that's what's happening. And it's not like I said, it's election year. So between now and November, there's going to be somebody else is going to start piping up, and they're going to get, they're going to hear the dong 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 from the tunnels, and Shabbat's going to pop out of the sewer and drag their ass to Auschwitz, drag their ass, drag their ass back to Jerusalem, make it do a trail of tears. Oh yeah, but that's the grift. So I explained it, and now you know, and you're still going to go along with it anyway because that's how these things work.